Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. We have Lizette with Syn Skin and my partner Lauren here. We could talk about you and your business. Welcome to the show.
I'm so excited. I love watching you grow on social media. Love watch people promote your business. So I'm excited for everybody to hear about it.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So, I definitely want to get into your story, but let's talk about the first thing that we kind of touched on when Lauren walked in the room about the standard in which you operate your business, right? And so our ideal client is trying to grow their business, and we want this content to benefit them in that way. And I think it's going to shed light on you and how you operate your business and why people need to use you for the services you provide. So the standard in which your industry is, how do you put yourself on the top of that and operate at the level that you do?
Knowledge, skills, and training. You need to have a most excellent amount of training and level and skill when you're dealing with people's health, wellness, facial balancing, and knowing anatomy and physiology. So for me, I have spent endless amounts of money to train and traveled the world to train to become the best at what I do. Constantly taking courses, constantly enhancing what I know and what I do, and then bringing it to our community. I now have a California license, and I go out there and I have patients go out there at least once a month, and I see them, and I bring what's in California back to Louisiana.
Oh, cool.
Because it usually takes a few years to get from California to Louisiana. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to bring the innovative things here. So bringing things that no one else has, and having the knowledge and skills that no one else has, and the experience, and having the medical background along with aesthetics and training with plastic surgeons is what sets me apart. And, having the things that are the best at my office.
Gotcha.
Well, we don't invest in lower standards, the best, like your Posh Patch.
Right.
And we're going to have the best there, right? So I always want to build in the community, collaborations, and I think that helps make us different than anyone else.
I love that you highlighted training, because I think so many entrepreneurs are the ones that want to be excellent, right? Most of the time you're saying, I'm going out, I'm starting my own business because I want my standard met. And so personally, it's easy to say, I'm willing to put in the commitment to be the best at what I do, like you have. But they fail to see the side of how do you communicate that standard to the people that are working within your organization, right? It's easy to do it for yourself, but how can you showcase that as an example on a day-to-day basis and really put together a training platform that allows them to excel as well? So at what point did you start working on, oh crap, I've got to train other people?
Immediately. I used to run hospitals, a bunch of hospitals for HCA. So immediately when I started my practice, training and education, number one, safety, policies and procedures, handbooks to go to.
Policies and procedures.
My favorite. You got to have a policy for everything. So yes, sure. Education, training, attestation, policies, that they're following the policies. And that if they come in, they're new, everyone's going to have that standard of excellence of making sure they're educated on everything and how to take care of a patient, the quality metrics and things like that. Huge for me. So I immediately, and it's continuous, new products, new things. I'm always having the reps come in every 6 months just to re-educate and give them, remind them how to, gather new patients, how to communicate with them, how to talk about products and things like that.
So how long has Syn Skin been around?
3 years, but I've been injecting for 5. So I've been doing it for 5, but I launched Syn Skin 3 years ago.
Gotcha. And so this is how many clients are you seeing on a daily basis?
About 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When you told me that blew my mind whenever you told me that you met with 30 to 40 patients every single day. I mean, at that point, you have to have some sort of a system in which people come in and out of the door.
You do.
Right?
Yeah.
And your team has to be held accountable. Like for you, are you seeing each patient?
I
yourself?
am. I see most of them.
So you're not tired at all.
Not at all. I love it though. It's my passion. It's what I always wanted to do, but we have a system in place and I make sure that we have our quality metrics. And sometimes we have nurse visits and check-ins, and they have other procedures that estheticians can do, delegating.
Mm-hmm.
If patients are coming in for just injectable things like small little vitamin shots or NAD, I can delegate that to the nurse.
Yeah.
versus just me. But, we have a good number through there.
So how are you checking on that standard on a regular basis? Do you have a system like in which you're following up with your staff? Is that a weekly meeting? Is it a daily checklist? How are you?
Daily checklist and then a weekly meeting every Friday. So I love it. Every day and I make sure I write everything down. This is our goals for the day. We sit down. Sometimes if we have time, it's not a crazy morning, we'll sit down. These are the patients that we have. This is what I expect for you to get this together. Pull the labs on that patient, pull the mammogram on that patient, because we do everything. Urgent care, primary care, Botox filler, men's health, sex health, erectile dysfunction, penis filler, you name it, we do it, right? So my expectations are really high that we know what's coming in the door, have it ready for me before I walk in the room. So that way when I go in there, we can take care of the patient, it's efficient, in and out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. I had no idea because I see y'all so much on like the med spa side that y'all did urgent care. So that's
urgent
awesome.
care. We have steroid shots, Toradol shots, antibiotic injectables, normal saline IV, vitamin shots. But I'll see you. We can do strep, COVID, flu swabs. You don't have to wait. You text me. I'll get you in there. You get swabbed. I even have Z packs and mental dose packs, steroid packs. So you don't have to go to the pharmacy.
I love
Contact me. We'll do it. Done.
You've been doing this for 3 years. I mean, how did you get some? I mean, again, I'm kind of thinking and treating you the same way that some people will come to us and they think, 3 years is not a lot of time for.
We're almost the same time.
Yeah, we're on the same schedule. I mean, we started 2.5 years ago, and I think that people don't understand the type of energy and effort it takes to grow that quickly, but also to maintain the standard that you have as you're continuing to grow. Like you have to have a team in order to
It's
do
painful.
Have to.
And the constant momentum. It's painful. It's a challenge.
It is.
And like like I was saying earlier, I had a conversation with somebody downstairs, and it seems as though you're killing it, which you're doing well. But people don't see the sacrifice and the commitment and the energy and effort that it takes, and also the mindset that whenever you took on day one. Like we're 3 years in, we might seem like we're doing well with everybody else, but we're not quite where we want to be yet, and we know that it's going to take 5 years to get where we're going. Right. That's a lot of dedicated time and energy that people aren't necessarily willing to do. So, what made you have the courage to even take this step and have the perspective of this is a long journey I'm about to get on to meet the standard I want to meet, but also accomplish the goal I want to accomplish.
I was born with the dream to do this. Honestly, it was a gift from God. My dad's a physician. So from day one, as a kid, I was in ORs and watching things. I actually went to medical school. I got pregnant with my son.
Mm-hmm.
He was very sick, had to have surgeries, had to leave medical school. Took another path, but it was through God's ways. And so I ended up going to nurse practitioner school, but I've been in medicine 18 years. I've been in this field that long.
Yeah.
It's divine intervention. Right there.
And then trained with my dad and seeing everything. I felt like I had that advantage above others, that I could see that, identify that, see how he ran his businesses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We traveled a lot. And so I got to see, like in Haiti, the training camps and things in tent cities, and would go around, do medical care and things like that.
So what kind of doctor's your dad?
Internal medicine.
Okay.
And he comes in my office 2 days a week, and he sees his little patients there, and he has a clinic in Franklinton.
Wow.
So we have a physician in the office twice a week, which also sets us apart, that he's physically there. He's our medical director.
Seeing patients.
Yeah, and he sits on the, what is the litigation thing for Louisiana? The
Louisiana Malpractice, Medical Malpractice Board.
He does the litigations, compensation board fund.
Yeah.
And he sits with the governor, and he was ACP president. He was a delegate for AMA president. So he's huge on governor for medicine and future dynamics of that and insurance coverage and things.
You want to hear how close our worlds are and then how far they diverted from each other? My dad's a pathologist.
Really?
So like very close with the internal med docs. Like, and so like you kind of go two different paths. From what I understand about it, obviously you probably know better than me, but like you can do internal med, you can do pathology. Like you kind of learn a lot of the same things, right? You have to know a little bit about everything in order to do those roles. But as the medical director of the hospitals in Alexandria, and never in my life have I ever wanted to be in medicine, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I just, and I'm the oldest of four boys, none of us wanted to get into medicine. It was interesting because my dad is more of a business-minded person than a doctor, even though he's a very successful and one of the smartest doctors. And that's not me just saying that about my dad. He got the highest grade ever recorded on the LSUS medical exam whenever he took it, however many years ago it was. And so, but he's a very successful business person. Awesome. So like, I got to see him in that aspect of it, and a lot of the.
You saw him as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, an entrepreneur, and buying and practices and doing that kind of stuff. So I got to see that side of it, and I learned a lot from him in that way. But it's funny that your dad being internal med and you kind of following his footsteps as a business owner.
It's a common theme.
Sure.
I mean, even for me, my dad's a general contractor for commercial construction, but I tell everybody every day, like his legacy passed on like that entrepreneurial spirit and fire that I have every single day.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with building freaking buildings.
Yeah.
But it was just a way that we existed in life, how we approached challenges, how we approached helping others, how we approached engagement in the community. Like that's just, it's a legacy I'll forever be grateful for. So I love how you put that. You were born into it. This is what I'm supposed to do.
This is you.
And the challenges push you there, right? The little Garth Brooks song, like Unanswered Prayers.
I love that.
Like you're mad in the moment, but I mean, that definitely helped for me in my legal career as well. That pushed me in this direction.
But the whole concept of unanswered prayers and like the legacy, all these different buzzwords you're throwing out there, like they mean something to us. Like we have its common definition and thread between those things, but like it's all everything that kind of culminated into where we're at today. Like all the struggles you went through, all the people that were in your life that you learned a lot from, that hurt you, that you kind of all comes to where you're at now. Like one of my old bosses actually passed away early this year, and like there are things that we do here that he taught me 10, 11 years ago. And, while he's no longer here, as part of his legacy lives on through Arena, even though people have no idea who he is that are here, right? And so it's just cool that your dads and people in your life come and go. And, you can't ever put a negative spin on anything. You have to think of like, what is the benefit that you can draw from that relationship? Because everything is for a reason. And when you think of it from that perspective, it's all part of that journey of where you got started or what people perceive you started, because the reality is it started so much farther back with the people who impacted you when you were a kid, like our parents and all the other people.
I think the second part of that is that everybody looks to legacy as like a dollar value that's being handed down. But this stuff that we're talking about right now, it's priceless.
Correct.
Right? Like that is a legacy of impact that is it's invaluable. It's invaluable because just what opportunity we can have. And then that legacy that we pass on to our kids.
No, I agree with you completely. I would watch him. When his patients would die, he sings and plays guitar. He's from Nicaragua. So he would go play the guitar, and I would sing, and my brother would sing. We would sing Amazing Grace at all the patient funerals.
Aww.
So I would see his dedication and his drive and the compassion versus writing people off, sitting with them, taking the time. So I feel like, encompassing that and bringing that into business and passing that on is, again, priceless.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story.
So
I want to meet him now. I want to go in the 2 days that he's there.
He's so fun.
My dad's 62, and he's like, if it was up to him, he'd work until he was 80, because it's not in any of the Miguez blood to retire, but my mom's going to make him. But he lives here sometimes too. I bet him and your dad would love to connect, to just meet each other, because I might be completely off base, but I'm fairly certain that the medical director of the hospital can be internal med or pathology, so they kind of all have the same responsibility. Yeah, okay. I'm not that far off base. The other thing we talked about, and I think this would be very valuable for our audience to hear, is about leverage and delegation and priorities and sacrifice, and how all of those kind of buzzwords, again, kind of come together to help you as a business owner put things into perspective to grow. Being a father and a husband, there's a different dynamic than the things that y'all go through. And we don't talk about enough about how much Lauren manages the chaos or the responsibilities she has in her life.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, to be able to do what she does, right? And I didn't know this about you, but you focus and dedicate and leverage out things that are important to you too. So both of y'all, I want to hear what both of y'all's perspective on dedication to your job, commitment, sacrifice, and leverage, in which allows you to be the women and mothers and professionals you are.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
Well, for me, God is always number one.
Amen.
Family and business, right? So I always put that as a priority. But I've learned over time, you have to delegate. If you want to grow and have that success, and if you have that dream to cultivate that, you have to give that out to others, to wash your clothes, fold your clothes, wash your dishes. That little bit of time is priceless for your children that are growing, or your business that you can dedicate. Taking that little bit of time and giving it to someone else to accomplish, it's going to benefit you in the long end. Just sitting there over a sink for an hour washing dishes, be miserable. You've lost the time that you can never get back. So for me, delegating is huge.
I think tying that into again, being grateful for the legacy that what my parents gave me, and that my dad promoted my mom owning her own business. She never would have owned her own business, and she had a hair salon, and he pushed her. And I watched that from when they were young. They were together since they were 13 years old, and watched him push her to be a business owner. So to me, I didn't have to grow up in an environment where it was outrageous that a woman would want to be a business owner, right? They were pushing me into business from a young age. And so I automatically knew that that was possible. And then finding a man that is a leader in his own right and has his own crazy ambition, almost crazier than mine sometimes, but he's not threatened at all by who I am. And I think that's really important too. So I came from a place where most women feel, oh my gosh, I'm failing if I can't do my family's laundry. And I just look at running my household the same way that I would run a business. Right. And everybody's so okay with leveraging in the business world. Why aren't they okay with leveraging in their personal life? And, you know, I get asked often, like, if I feel guilty for my girls. And I've said this before when I've spoken before on stage, but I just feel that if you surround yourself with women that are in all different phases of life, that my daughters are able to see every one of those and know that they have an option. So, like, I love that I have people in my family that are stay-at-home moms. You see that as an option, and that may be your path in life, and nothing will be wrong with that either. Right. But I can almost tell in their spirit and who they are that probably won't be the case, because they have a lot of drive for themselves, and I don't want them to have a stigma, right? And then if you structure the priorities like you mentioned, if you have God as your first and foremost, then you're working on yourself every single day. That's right. And he's fulfilling you, and you're not looking for fulfillment from your children. Because I think that's a pitfall of a lot of mothers. They're looking for fulfillment from their spouse and their children. And so they're always wanting, because that's a piece that only God's going to give to you. Correct. And so once you have that understanding, you move forward with a different level of confidence, right? And then you put your children next. And once I opened the door to actually communicate with what was important to them, I realized all the crap that I was worried about, they really didn't care about. And then there's this really dumb crap that they do that I have to make time for, but it's important to them. So I do. And I open the door. I mean, literally this week, I'm not ashamed to say it, because I'm still grateful for the conversation. But I was telling Dylan, she was just upset. She's 12. She's going to be 13 this year. So we got all kind of hormones flying. And she was just crying. And I have a very happy, strong-willed child. So I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, I'm here for you. And like in her little preteen attitude, she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, well, tell me about myself then. And she's like, you got home at this time, and I wanted to talk to you about this, and you took NyQuil and went to sleep. And I was like, but at the same time, I was like, I felt so great that she was empowered to say, like, we have those boundaries in our household that we can raise our hand and say, my needs are not being met, and I'll make those adjustments. Yeah. So if I don't sleep for the rest of the week, that girl is getting some attention before she goes back to school. But when you structure those priorities, I feel, and you open that communication, you don't wake up one day just feeling guilty, or like an entrepreneur wears a badge of honor of stress when it's really like, just get your life together, right? Chaos is not good. I feel like that's what now moms that are trying to be entrepreneurs are doing. Like, they're walking around talking about how hard it is. How about we walk around? It is, by all means, hard. I don't want to say that it's not. Right. But like, let's just walk around and lift each other up and teach each other the tools and tricks that help us win. I agree. And that collectively helps all these young ladies that want to do something amazing in their life, and shifts the perspective of fathers to love and support them in that direction. You know, and then when you have that collaborative effort, everybody's going to win. Yes. And it's better for our community. Yeah. So that was a really long answer.
No,
so,
perfect. Answering.
And there's a part of it too where that I believe that, you know, you have your own barometer of being able to handle situations and stress. And like everybody has to be self-aware enough to know, like, you can't overstimulate and overwork yourself to where you don't have the ability to give the attention you want to your family whenever you're giving them that attention, right? If you constantly have a to-do list, whether you're a man or a woman, right? You have like a whole bunch of stuff that you want to do at your house. Like, I'm not going to my house to cut the grass. Like, I'm not doing that. I used to cut the grass every day in my life, but I'm not picking a weed eater.
I think that was our first home leverage, was the grass cutter. Like, one weekend we like were able to go out and the grass looked fine, and we were like, oh my gosh, why didn't we do this forever again?
Yes. But like, I feel like a lot of people nowadays too, like, you feel like you have to be constantly having something to check off your list, and you don't realize the perspective of how much of your energy you're giving to a to-do list that is unnecessary. Whenever you spend time with the people you want to spend time with, you don't have anything to give them because you aren't able to leverage. And like, just sometimes leveraging doesn't necessarily mean you're making yourself necessarily more efficient from a cost standpoint, but it's just efficiency from an energy standpoint to say, I'm a business owner. I have so much stuff on my plate already. I can carry that home, and then I get this to-do list. And maybe if you're not working and you're still at home and you give yourself a to-do list where you don't have the time to spend time for yourself, you just are always going 100 miles an hour. You don't have enough left in the tank for anybody else.
I want to touch on the efficiency financing point because I work with so many new business owners and I love challenging them on that because I'm like, pay somebody to do it. And they're like, I'm investing in my business. And I was like, do you lack confidence in what you're doing? They're like, no. Then I'm like, freaking invest in yourself. Are you greedy? No, I'm not greedy. Then pay somebody $100 to cut your grass and call me in a month.
Exactly.
Like they operate from a place of fear. And until somebody operates with a sense of confidence and directness because they have a system of boundaries to make decisions and they have people that they can bounce these ideas off of, they're operating in fear and they're never going to take that leap. But if you like flip it on them and remind them, you have to make this investment in yourself, the grass guy becomes really cheap.
I agree.
The laundry lady becomes super inexpensive.
Yes.
And if we look at how much freaking money we waste on going out to eat, I love to go out to eat. It'll be like one night and that's your laundry for the entire week.
Seriously?
You can do this.
You can do this.
And like if you're, I don't know, and like if you're an entrepreneur, especially in a town like ours, you build relationships with all of those people. Like everybody who does something in my life that is that I have a relationship with them outside of just the fact that they do a good job of what they do. You know, the landscape guy, you know, his girlfriend is somebody who I do business with, and the guy who pressure washes the building. Like all those people are part of our sphere and circle that allows the entire world to continue to go around. So it adds value in other places, and it's probably
contributing to the community.
Yeah, exactly.
It literally is contributing.
And so you're helping somebody else create their dream too. And in turn, if you get, like, what did one of those writers, Zig Ziglar or whatever, you give enough people what they want, you're going to end up getting what you want. If you keep giving back to the community you're in, it's going to get back to you. And it's not just, you know, your time and energy. Sometimes it's letting somebody else do your laundry. Like that simple.
Let's talk a little bit too about your engagement in the community. So what all are you part of? Because I just saw you in a really fancy outfit and had some really cool event at the Southern. Tell us about that and what some of your involvement is.
So New Heights I've been a part of for almost 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
what an incredible event at the Southern Hotel.
You'll have to do it next year. You have no choice.
All right, done.
I went last year.
Right?
No, I didn't sponsor. We just went, but it was incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was fun. This year, are you Latino with Miguez?
No.
You're not.
I don't know what I am.
I'm feeling it's there.
I think I'm from Portugal, but like.
Okay, like there's something.
There's something, without a doubt.
There was Latino, like salsa, rumba, you know, so it's fun. You're giving back. So I've given back to this because it's that therapeutic writing center for children with disabilities. And I've been there on the farm and seen it. And it's just beautiful. What they do for these children, you know, being in medicine and watching it breaks my heart. I cry every time, you know, seeing that, you know. So it's, for me, it's worth it to invest. And for me,
what's your role in the organization? What's your role in the organization?
I just donate sponsorship. I don't want to be on any kind of board or anything like that. I just don't have time anymore. But I am still on the Access board, which is 11 years now, which puts on Boo Fest every year at Lakeview. And that, I don't know if you guys know the story, but there aren't sidewalks in Louisiana. Not very many places have sidewalks. We have ditches.
Yeah.
We have children in wheelchairs with ventilators and feeding tubes. How can they trick or treat? There's no walking path. There's no place for them if their trach comes out of their throat. So Lakeview Hospital has medical tents, and we have that sidewalk that goes around.
Oh, nice.
And we have Boo Fest. And that first hour, we give the opportunity to only the disabled children. I cry every time. I swear to you. It's just, I can cry talking about it. And they go around, you watch them with excitement in their little wheelchairs. And so for me, you have to invest in those in need.
Yeah.
You have it, you have to give it back. And like you said, it's going to come back to you. So that's another thing that I do. I help with the Unite, the breast cancer organization. A lot of those people are my patients that come in. You have to make people feel beautiful, right? Goodness, I'm on so many.
I saw you all in in Social Magazine for the Mercedes.
Yeah. What's the model?
What's the model?
Oh, we love Mutts.
Yeah.
Becky, our partner, loves that event.
So
it is
fun.
fabulous.
I love it. And that's another thing that's medical. It goes to acute care, sick children and animals. Like there's always got to be a purpose when I do these things. And if there's sick children involved, I'm going to.
It's an easy one.
It's easy. You know, the children are in need and 100% of the proceeds go to that. If we can raise awareness on that and I have a platform for it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it for me.
Especially if you get to dress up or create a costume, and you do that at all those events.
You do. It's so fun.
I feel like this kind of translates into another thing that we like to talk about a lot. It's how you are marketing, giving back to the community. All that kind of goes together, right? But I feel like you're very intentional, and even more so now that you've told me these things about just making sure there's a medical element involved. knowing who your ideal client is and where you want to give your time and energy, right? And so have you gone through the exercise in your brain to be able to identify who your ideal client is?
1,000%.
Tell us about that and how you target the person that you're trying to get in front of.
Yeah. So I look at, here's the demographics for this area, age perspective, and then I try to understand where do we need to focus at that moment? What are we trying to focus to build at the moment at the office? Are we needing more Botox clients? Are we needing more men's health? And I see where it starts to grow. We need to focus more on that. So I'll sit down and look at the following on the social media, have a game plan with them. How are we doing? What are the demographics on that? Pull it. Let's look at it. What kind of clientele are coming in? When I have them, like you would for any office, who sent you and who referred you?
Yeah.
Sit back and look at that and see. And then look at the highest point. You can pull it off of the systems, the medical record systems, the age frames. Who's your most common age frame? I take that, pull that out, and then we start targeting that with the different social media and the events and things like that. So women, obviously, are 80% of our target.
Nice.
Ages 25 to 70, but we do see a lot of male clients as well with, erectile dysfunction and things like that are embarrassing. And I'm a little bit on the edge when it comes to it. And people say that all the time. And I don't mind talking about it and putting it out there because it needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
So I target that as well, the things that people don't discuss and that are embarrassed.
Yeah.
So that they feel comfortable and can come in and get treatment.
Cool.
I'm like that with my kids. I'm like, it's your body. Yeah. Be comfortable with the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta know about it. Respect it. Protect it.
Right.
It's body.
Right.
Yeah, I never had that perspective until your wife has her first kid, and then it's like all boundaries go out the window.
Exactly.
My father-in-law's an OBGYN.
Imagine being the one with their vagina ripping open.
No, that's true. My father-in-law's an OBGYN, and then when your wife has a baby, and then like the worlds collide there, and you're just like, nothing's weird anymore. It's like it's all fair game at this point.
It is true.
Yeah.
He delivered the babies.
No. No, but it was, but again, the ultrasound machine, that little portable one, like we got to see Lucy like 100 times because he would always bring that home. We got
Cool.
So again, like it was different. Like all the boundaries and the weirdness fell off whenever that happened. So like you realize it's just a body, and like millions of people have done this thing, so it's not like it can be that weird anymore. But like, so I mean, when we're talking about our ideal client and our marketing team, while they're young ladies, they understand who that person is. So we talk about it all the time. Like our staff knows our ideal client is a business owner who's looking to grow. And we try to make that as clear as possible.
Yeah. His name's Teddy.
Yeah. And when we're marketing and we're putting our name out there, our Teddies come to us and say, I see you everywhere. And they're like, how are you everywhere all the time?
Check.
Exactly.
But I guarantee you that if the person sitting in that other booth next to us is not my ideal client, you ask me who I am, they're going to say, I don't know who this guy is. But it's because we're very much intentional. We know exactly who we're going after. We know where they spend their time, energy, money, get their news, what they do for fun, what their goals are. But the main thing that we always touch on is what are the things that are between them and their goal? Like what are the issues, the 3 to 5 issues that are stopping them from getting where they want to be?
Yeah.
And that goal of growing your business, from our standpoint, it's their operating system isn't working very well. They don't have one. Their mindset's not in the right place, or their legal structure of their business is not where it needs to be in order for them to scale and grow. And we push those 3 elements as often as we can through our marketing. So our ideal client hears that we can help them grow. And then in turn, they come to us to help them buy their real estate, to get their estate planning done, and to help them grow their business. Right. And so it's really not complicated.
Right.
And when you have clarity like you do, and like we do, you can be very intentional with it, but some people are just like their mind's blown.
But they don't want to dedicate the time to figure it out. That's the problem. If you notice everything that Lizette started speaking about, she had data, right?
Data.
People want to make decisions on emotions, and you just can't. You have to pull the data, you have to analyze it and spend the time and make a decision. And the other challenge that Jared and I get from business owners all the time is they're like, if you make me pick somebody, then I'm limiting the amount of money I can make. And I'm like, I'm not telling you not to help people that don't fall within your ideal client range.
Right.
But you still need to solicit. If you throw spaghetti at the wall, you're making a mess.
I agree.
If you target an ideal client, you're making a business, right? And so even though your range, you're probably not spending ads at the same time on 25-year-olds and 70-year-olds. You're picking and choosing, and you're being intentional and targeted, right? Now, if that 71-year-old walks in your office, are you going to treat them? Of course, right?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yes.
But you're not going to be spending the money targeting them.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like, I'm not going to love the old people. My dad goes to see Roquette Lodge patients all the time. But obviously, we're not going to waste our time and go there. They're not going to want to be our client. They're going to want to see physicians that take Medicare, Medicaid, things like that. Nothing against that. I think it's amazing. Wonderful.
Well, me and my wrinkled forehead is your ideal client. And so me seeing you everywhere is working. So you have your boxes checked.
Right.
This was kind of a selfish question because one of the things that we haven't tackled yet is paid ads.
Oh, yeah.
And you said you see 30 to 40 patients a day. You see mostly yourself. That means you're not spending a ton of time on the marketing campaigns, right? I know you cast the vision, but you have to delegate that to somebody.
Yes.
Do you have that internal or external?
Internal. She's in-house. She's there every single day.
And what is her title?
She's our social media marketing girl, and she's an esthetician as well. So she understands the product. She can do
Love that.
procedures. She can do the lasers and capture her own videos and post it in real time. And that to me was what I needed after the years of going through different social media people who were external. They would have to schedule times to come in, and it just was not meeting the need. I needed someone there every day capturing what my vision was, the clientele, what our standards are, what my approach was to have an elegant approach, you know. And then when I brought her in, I feel like we've achieved that even better now.
Yeah.
So having someone there consistently posting.
Did she have the skills before she started to
Yes.
do that?
Yes.
So you didn't have to invest in training this person.
I did a little bit. I did send her to a few little training courses just to enhance her knowledge and skills
Gotcha.
and things.
And so was one of those trainings around the Google ad, like that to me is the organic stuff's, I mean, it's simple or you don't have like you're doing, I feel like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, when you're doing organic social media content, you're doing very similar things you have to use for the ads. And you have to be a little bit more direct with the ads, but you add the layer of understanding how to pay for the ads and how to make them work. Organic is you got to try it and figure it out. And then you post it and people like it. They give the reaction back to it.
Right.
On the paid ads, you've got to then not only post it, you've got to figure out how to do it the right way and then track the ROI to make sure you're doing it the right way. So like, how does that work within your organization?
I have someone who does the backgrounds of the SEO. He's like this little mole guy who works like the DEA and things like that. So it's really cool. And so he does like the background of checking the Google and making sure that's, you know, getting up to the top and that our SEO is correct and things like that. So I have someone external for that aspect because I feel like she's already been inundated with a lot of other tasks with social media, responding to people. I tell people all the time, if someone messages you on the weekend, they better get a response, even if it's me, because they want an answer right then and there, or they're going to go somewhere else. So being responsive and accountable. So that's why I wound up getting external. So I felt like it was a lot for her.
Yeah.
Have someone else that does that.
The social media part of the business is really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And because it's so impactful and like we have two people on our team. One of them is more of events, swag, external type stuff. And then we have somebody who does more of our digital stuff. And like we do so much volume and have a lot going on that we're still trying to get our efficiencies down. Like our theme for our quarter right now is eliminate the useless and maintain our standard. And so the idea that I keep pushing to them about eliminating the useless means you're cutting back enough time in your day, not to add more stuff to your plate that's more button pushing, but more strategic and time to learn and grow and make our company better.
Yeah.
And so we're still giving us that space. But once we get there, like our goal next quarter is to take an area of our business, either our estate planning or our business planning, and figure out how to put that on some sort of ad campaign so that we can drive more business to our firm. So that's my question. I was trying to get back to my question. I was wasting some space there.
It was good. It was good kind of.
Space leaking.
It was great.
But what I wanted to know is how much of your business do you think comes from your relationships, one-on-one people, and how much comes from your digital marketing?
I would say 80% come from my relationships.
And then
but 20 comes from the ads and things like that. I mean, a lot come in. I've seen Facebook, social media, but I've been in this community for a while. And I feel like, being in the hospitals, they trust me. Working in urgent cares and in ERs in the past, I've taken care of patients. So they trust me. So having trust and a referral base for my practice is huge. So I have a network of physicians that trusted the care that I gave for years. They're my patients, but they also refer me patients, cardiologists, orthopedists, for the peptides to treat healed injuries of the shoulder and things like that when they're recovering from surgery, cardiovascular for obese patients.
Yeah.
Things like that. So that's a huge part of the practice.
It's probably the same for us.
Yeah.
You get referrals.
I would say so. We are majority just relationship based, and that's how word of mouth gets around. Jared had a very robust, group of relationships for the real estate side, and I've always been in the business side and, heavily ingrained in my community. And I think those two things, if we have pulled the data and you look at our source of business, and that's what it is. It's relationships. Yeah.
But it's also interesting too. At a certain point in my mind, as I was building relationships, I said, I got to be more places without having to be there.
Right.
And so that's why the print ads are important.
Yep.
That's why
Social
the
media.
Winn-Dixie shopping carts are important. That's why the social media and the podcast, all that's important because it allows you to be people to know who you are, even if you're not in front of their face personally every day. So I think that if you take the relationship side of it, and once you've created the foundation, then you have these other things that allow you to take the next level where you're doing the print, doing the events, where you're not necessarily one-on-one, do what you're on stage or you're talking with people. And then, but again, I think that the paid ads will allow you to get more leads.
I agree.
Over time. And I'm glad you said it's 80-20.
Yeah.
I mean, to know that you still have that foundation of your business, right? You have to put in that time and energy, but then you add those other layers of things on top of it and know where you have to prioritize them. Like if you're only getting 20% of your business from that area, you can't be spending 50% of your time on it because you're not getting the best ROI for it. So it's interesting that that perspective, because we're gonna take that next step soon, and I want to be able to know how much time and energy we need to dedicate to it to make sure that it makes a lot of sense. So the way we're growing our business,
right? No, it's important. I mean, and I invest in billboards and ads, and like strategically though, placement in certain areas, and looking at that data of who's going to be coming through there, what age range is going to see that. Crunch Fitness did a big ad there, brought in tons of patients because they're wanting to get healthy, they're wanting to lose weight, they want to do peptides, they want vitamins, they want hormones. So strategically doing that and having that ad in their face at the gym, taking pictures, coming to see me.
Yeah.
So it works. So yes, like strategically doing ads and things like that. But I would say a lot of referral by mouth for you guys.
Yeah.
I hear so much good stuff about you guys. I'm always so honored and privileged to say I know them and I trust them, and they've helped me with my new business. And you guys did an excellent job.
Oh, good. I'll pass that to
out.
Caroline. Again, good training, good people. Like you build it up, and
Trust
it's excited
and loyalty.
And you know that you can reach out to me and overlook things. Like you
communicate effectively, quickly. Like I needed all of them to actually have a patient tonight for it.
Yay.
So I needed like all the contracts and everything again to print. And so it's just, and ever growing. It's ever upward is my statement I've always said. Ever growing, thinking of things that are needed in the community and the town and pushing it forward.
Yeah.
Stepping out.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Find a need, make it at reasonably priced, and be good at it.
Exactly.
And I'll make one more point about marketing. Something else that you said that I think that people overlook too is being able to know, like, you have to have that one-on-one direct client pull, but you also have to have the referral partners in the business too. And that's, and there's like, so when you talk about relationship based, like you can be like some people who maybe are real estate agents who are just directly consumer, but like if you think outside of the box a little bit, like people in your world and CPAs and haircut style, all those different people are in front of people too. So you can network and referral based from more than just the consumer. You just have to be intentional about knowing where you're going.
So a lot of my new business clients, to that point, when we were working on their ideal client, if they're going to do a lot of heavy relationship marketing and don't have a big budget for marketing, we also create an ideal referral partner.
I love that.
So separate from the client that you're servicing, we talk about your ideal referral partner so you can communicate that to your employees, because it's the same thing. You're soliciting and you're dating those relationships to make sure that they understand that quality.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, going to refer somebody and likewise don't want them to refer to me if our expectations and standards aren't met. And so the significance of learning those relationships is just as important than soliciting those clients.
And when you have a system that you've built intentionally, what I think too is you have somebody who reaches out to you so they want to be a marketing rep.
Yes.
Right? Okay, well, I have to, if you're going to be a marketing rep, if you're going to do a job for me, like we can talk about your skills, your background, who you are. But if you're a marketing rep too, there's a whole nother layer of the relationships you already have. What can, I don't,
right. What are you bringing?
Who are you attracting, or who are you spending time with? If you're not spending time with my ideal client, you're going to be really hard marketing. It's going to be really hard marketing because you're going to have to go build a whole other new relationship. But if you come to me and you're in my world already, in the world that we're trying to get in front of, then it makes a lot more sense for you to be a marketer if you have the soft skills to be in marketing. And again, it's all being intentional about knowing your ideal client is, knowing who now your ideal referral partners are, and then in hiring intentionally, marketing intentionally, so that you can make sure that you put yourself in the best position.
I think that was smart of you, because I in saying that, I hired one who was a marketer who's now my medical assistant. And so I send her out in the community. She does follow up with the people that refer. I go bring treats to them, thank you cards, URT, whatever little treats they like, I find out. And we're going to give them those little treats and bring them things and lunches. And she'll go spend time with them and bring information and updated information, give gifts to them, products and things like that. Because you have to be thankful when they do provide. So I tell people, you have a referral base, how do you keep that? Retention is huge. So following up, being thankful, and recognizing, how to get more clients from that person too.
Yeah.
And that's so much cheaper than finding a new client.
Yes.
So much cheaper.
And that's something you have to reiterate to your staff too. Keeping clients is so much more cost effective than
You do it with your standards, right? If you create a culture of that high quality standards, it's going to happen. It's unfortunate that that's so easy in the business world, but if you communicate well and you're good at what you do, you're already leaps and bounds ahead.
Yes.
Especially as lawyers.
for sure.
Yeah.
We could talk for hours.
I know.
Clearly.
Clearly.
But before we get off, I want people to know like where you located, how do they get in touch with you,
Okay.
and what's going like what do they
What's next?
What's next?
Oh, yeah. So Syn Skin Aesthetics and Wellness for Family Nurse Practitioner. Our main location is Mandeville. Our satellite location is Hammond. California license as well. So we see patients from there. You can call or text us 985-502-1533 or email us or go to our website. New business coming called Venus Luxury Concierge Home Care. First in the state of Louisiana.
So excited.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll be taking care of plastic surgery aftercare. We have a contract with the Southern Hotel, Windsor Port in the Four Seasons. And we'll be taking care of you in your home. We're going to have chauffeur service from Bentleys to Hondas, whatever is in your budget, food service, nannies, hair, beauty, you name it. We have developed it. Private help, pampering. Yep, with the help of you guys.
The law firm helped out, and Caroline got all those documents together. So we're so excited for this to be coming out.
Yeah, so thank you. So that's to come. We haven't launched it yet, but it's coming out. We have patience, but stay tuned for the big launch.
Very cool.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.